Hello, diasporans. This is your favorite Dr. K. I am on a journey to meet some of the folks that have inspired me along this journey. And this time I get the grand opportunity of meeting one of my biggest inspiration, Nana Kwame Bediako. He is a philanthropist. He is an emperor. He is a humanitarian. He is a real estate developer and so much more. The accolades are too much to mention. Over the next few days, I will get an opportunity to introduce you again to a legend in the making, based on the legacy that he will leave after he's long gone. But for right now, let's take you on that journey to meet this incredible person, Freedom Jacob Caesar.
Me, everywhere has been like my world. Once I live in a particular area, my world evolves around the area, my surroundings, the people, and I just like to learn from them. I studied from nature more so than I did from school.
I felt like I have to put the best components in the world on this building. I have to find the best architect. The architect I got from South Africa, and I asked him that do something that has never been done. I chose a contractor from Germany who was part of one of the designers of R8 Audi. And that's the guy that actually brought the vectogram on the building.
I'll be remembered because of the investment that I put in people, the times I shared with them, the ideas I shared with them, the knowledge, the wisdom I gave them, and the start I gave them, the template that they're replicating. I want my absence to be felt when I'm not here. And I believe that that's my biggest investment, that society can one day inherit from me an achievement that continues.
Today, my company can boldly say that we produce maybe 180 homes in 2 years. But for me, it's not such an achievement because I can still see a gap that needs to be bridged. And hence, that's what maybe you touch bases on some of these opportunities that is coming across Africa in development. Africa hasn't been developed in the past 200 years to its capacity. And we, the developers, private sectors, government, and the people, even in the country as citizens, haven't actually sat back and asked yourself the question, why are we not moving so fast? Why is every other country being developed? They also haven't looked at other countries that has been developed, such as Dubai and Singapore. These are the two countries that has been developed in 1 century.
I started to study about 10 years ago when I got into real estate was land policy. When I finally understood and educated myself with it, I decided to go into land banking. That land banking has assisted Wonderworld company to be able to go into a lot of developments in a go. Currently, we have maybe 5 to 6 projects. I studied one thing about real estate. It has 3 rules. Rule number 1 is location. Rule number 2 is location. Rule number 3 is location. Osu is like Oxford Street of London. In Ghana, when they say Osu, you're going to Oxford Street. So I went for the location, and I went for the number 1 location.
And you said you made your first million before you moved to Ghana.
Yeah.
What business were you in?
I was just obsessed with becoming a millionaire because I had the friend
that was training me in the business I got into, telecommunication, ACN, and he showed me my first $1 million on the notes, which was like a money order. And I said, I'm gonna be like this. But before that, I was selling scrap steel. And I was doing good. And I accidentally got into the scrap steel business. So I've always been a business person. Yeah, I think so. When I was young, I managed to buy 2 animals and turn it to 200 and something. That was a hen and a cock.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I was just like 8 years old, and that was my passion, my fantasy of, okay, for me at that time, that is a fantasy world, to be able to have chickens all over the place, and it worked.
So what about, like you said, you want to kind of give other people the opportunity to be able to buy. Not everybody can afford $1 million or 800. So what about those people that could probably afford 100 or 200?
Well, I'm definitely thinking about the middle income and the low income.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's much more expensive to do this development than people think it is. Okay. You first of all need to put a basic infrastructure together. You need about 100 to 200 acres of land.
Yeah.
And to put the basic infrastructure together on a 200-acre land alone will cost you maybe $5 to $10 million before you start putting the blocks.
Okay.
And it has to be misused. It has to be done right. It has to be sustainable environment. It has to be suitable. You know, it has a lot of collectives. So for me, I think it's more to do with capital intensive. And today I'm doing $1 million homes in the prime areas. It doesn't mean that's all I ever want to do. I'm very interested in the other things. Of course, I'm thinking about people even buying homes for 100,000 or 50,000. The thing is, the government doesn't have any credit platform that will assist these people. So how can I go and invest $40 million when the government doesn't have a system in place? I mean, if you look at England, they have like the council tax, and the council tax is helping people to get council homes when they don't have that, you know. So you need all these channels of credit in place. The government doesn't have it. Now, we're not saying that we will never do it, but if the government doesn't have it, then we have to find a way to build these structures.
It's not about owning the properties. You know, it's the joy and the passion of being able to bring out what we envision in our head as design, looks, feel, lifestyle, aesthetics, you know, putting all that package together and giving it out. It's more than building a car or building a watch.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much that goes into that, you know. It's like 10,000 things going into one component. But people would just go in and sleep and pay you $200 or $300 after, but they don't seem to realize that you didn't just spend $53 million, but you also spent 5 years of your life planning this. So if I was a painter, that means it took me 5 years to paint that work.
We have to find a way to build these structures before we actually put that investment for the middle income and the low income people. You know, I think a lot of people have tried and they have done a lot of unsuccessful projects. I like to make a change. If I'm going to do it, I make sure I do it right.